All right. Welcome to Cosmere in Miniature Chats, or Sim Chats, if you want to call it that. Today, I have my wonderful guests, Kyle and Irving from Complicated Opportunities podcast. And in just a moment, I'll have them introduce themselves. But I'm excited to bring them on and do another collaboration with some other Cosmere RPG, Cosmere Miniature fans and people. So they are great. So to start off, Kyle and Irving, if you could both kind of do a quick intro of yourselves and kind of talk about what podcast you do, and then I'll have some more intro questions that I'll go through with you guys. So turn it over to you to introduce yourselves.
Kyle, you start the podcast. You start this one.
Okay, sounds good. I'm Kyle. I've been working with Irving doing this. Working, it makes it sound so formal, right? We've been doing a podcast on the Cosmere RPG. We launched about, I want to say it was beginning of October, but we've both been playing the RPG together almost weekly since like February. But I actually came to this channel because I backed the original Kickstarter campaign and bought the minis. Here's one of them. I had never painted minis before at all, but I started following Cosmere Miniatures, started following those tutorials, and now I'm up to like 150 paints and like minis all over my dining room.
You're hooked. You're hooked.
Yes, I am hooked. I even painted my first Warhammer mini. So
yes.
Yeah, Black Templar, know nothing about the game at all. They just look cool.
So, good faction. Good choice.
But yeah, so I've been a Cosmere fan since, I think I've read Mistborn in 2009, 2010.
Okay.
It was right around when Way of Kings came out, so I think it was 2010. But yeah, I've been hooked ever since, read all of them plenty of times. I've been in the Cosmere fan community and really just picked that up over the last year, mostly because of the RPG.
Love it. Irving, how
are
you?
And I'm Irving. I'm the co-host of Complicated Opportunities, where we talk about GMing the Cosmere RPG. I found Cosmere Miniature through Kyle. Kyle was just like, hey, I found this like cool Discord of people who are painting Cosmere stuff. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'll check it out. And then I am like a permanent lurker. I did like make a post the other day, but yeah. And I've been a big Cosmere fan since I started reading it, which was in 2015 or 2016. And then I've like devoured the books and gone through them a couple times.
Yes, I love it. Well, both of you are definitely welcome members of the my Discord community, posting things, and we do need lurkers, Irving. So I'm glad you're there.
Yeah,
lurkers keep things alive sometimes. That's great. So this is good. I'm really excited to talk to you because I found your podcast because Kyle, you kind of just said, hey, could I post about your podcast? I was like, yeah, I love it. This is good stuff, and I've been hooked on it, guys. Like every week, I'm like, oh, is it gonna come out? When's the next episode? Like, it's good stuff because it's like you guys are very good on your podcast, talking together, and I just love the content you're putting out about the Cosmere RPG. So keep up the great work. Keep up the great work. So, and kind of speaking of your podcast, I took a few notes of some of your episodes, and Kyle, I think like my persona in an RPG is definitely a paladin. And you mentioned that you're a paladin type of guy, and I just like to go on the front lines and bash stuff and be the tank. So
yep.
We have that similarity there. And also, I think both of you might have mentioned that Wind and Truth, we won't go into too many spoilers, but Wind and Truth, the best storyline is Adolin's storyline. Is that correct?
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Yes, it is. So we are like-minded folks, and this is going to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
So you all do a podcast about the Cosmere RPG. I've only played D&D a few times before the Cosmere RPG came out, and then I jumped right in and DM'd my first Bridge 9 adventure. We had 2 sessions with a couple of local dads around here. It was a blast. I had no idea what I was doing as a GM. I wish I had your podcast back then. Maybe I'll do it another round with it. But can you define what an RPG is? Because some of my listeners, they're only in it for the minis and they don't know what the RPG is all about. So help us define what this RPG is all about.
Irving, I'll let you take that one because you've been playing these a lot longer than me.
Okay.
So
yeah. So RPG just stands for role-playing game. And the idea is that you take on any sort of role in the world you're experiencing. So, something as sort of mundane and like germane to all our childhoods as like a Pokemon counts as an RPG. And then there's like the much more involved and classic, like a World of Warcraft, where you're creating a lot of the character in detail for yourself. Yeah, so it's a huge genre that spans a gamut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think of like role playing games, like role playing, even my war gaming, like there's very strict rules, like you measuring stuff and rolling dice, but sometimes I'll like act out the character or the unit as they're charging in there, and like me and my opponent are just like yelling at each other. Like, is that role playing too?
I think so. And I think like, in war games, oftentimes you'll create a story for a unit. If you do like a really cool bespoke paint job, that those guys have a story.
Yes.
Like, for example, one of my Star Wars Legion units, the first time I played in that demo game, they're the ones that killed the opposing Vader, because I had the Rebels versus Empire starter box. And so they all, on the hem of their cloaks, have a black band because they're the Vader killers.
That's awesome.
And every game you play with them, they're you always know what they're doing.
Yeah, I know exactly who they are.
Yes.
Now, that unit doesn't get used that way anymore because there's been rule changes, but
yes, the rule changes.
There's a story.
That's really good point, because I have a unit in my Warhammer Empire army that I painted with a red hand. So have you read Wheel of Time?
Yes.
The Band of the Red Hand.
The Band of the
Red Hand. I freaking love Matt Cawthon. His storyline.
Yeah, he's great.
I love that one. So I built a unit that was like, this is the Band of the Red Hand, really custom paint job. And like, I brought them to every single game for like 2 years straight. And they were like my MVPs every game. I was like, this is amazing. So that's fun. So tell me what makes you guys so excited about RPGs enough to make a podcast about it? Like, why? What's the history of it for you guys?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, my history is actually pretty similar to yours. So growing up, I didn't have a lot of opportunities to play D&D. Like, it just wasn't something that the group I was hanging out with did. And D&D is the one, I'm almost 40. That was like the one everybody was playing, right? But then when I was in college, I met a buddy of mine who did play the Star Wars role-playing game, the D20 system. So it's their older one. This was during the expanded universe time, so we were playing a new Jedi Order campaign, where we were, Luke Skywalker's in his 60s, leading the Jedi through against the Yuzong Vong in the Star Wars canon. So we had a blast. I love that series. But then I didn't really play. I played a couple D&D one shots. That was it. But I went to Nexus for the first time last year, and basically was like, I had backed the minis, and then I'd backed the RPG, mostly just for I wanted the cool stuff to put on my shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But then while I was there, I hung out at the Brotherwise booth, like played a couple demos, met Merrick and Ross and Lila, and spent literally like 40 minutes just talking to them at the booth one day. And they were like, dude, you should try GMing. And I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but sure, why not? So applied for some play tests, was able to do some of those. And but long story short, I met Irving through Cosmere Conversations, which is another Cosmere content podcast. And one of the co-hosts, Tyler, wanted to run Bridge 9 for some of the patrons, but he had too many people interested, which is a great problem to have, right?
That is a great problem.
So he reached out to me and Irving separately. First, he reached out to Irving, and I played in a group with Tyler. And Irving was our GM, and that was how we met. And both of us had thought about podcasts separately for all kinds of different reasons. And I don't even remember how the conversation happened, to be perfectly honest. But then we were like, dude, we're having so much fun playing this. Why don't we do this? And just did it.
Did it.
The podcast idea came later into the summer, because I do remember I was over at a buddy's we were playing through Dark Souls 2. And that's when I had I'm not a fan.
That was not great.
I liked the first one.
I love Elden Ring. I can't stand Dark Souls 2.
Dark Souls 2 is a victim simulator you're the victim. But And I remember that's when like we got on the phone with Kyle and we're like, hey, like, or not Kyle, Tyler, and we're like, yeah, we want to do this podcast. But we'd, we'd been playing the RPG together through various means, and we were just talking about it most days, just over Discord, like chatting back and forth. And it's like, man, we're going to talk about this anyway. Do you want to record it?
Just have a conversation. Yeah. So
Yeah.
where'd you come up with the name Complicated Opportunities? I mean, it's obvious kind of, but
Yeah.
But pretty early on knew that like we wanted something that tied into the game system in a kind of like a fun, like pun way. Um, and Complicated Opportunities might have been the earliest, like one of the early suggestions.
It was the
that we
first
just kept
one.
coming back to.
It was the first one, and I even have a list here once I can find my phone of all of the stupid names we had.
yes.
But yes, I can look those up and see if there were any good ones. But yeah, Complicated Opportunities is the one we just kept coming back to. It just made the most sense.
It's a good title.
I wanted to do Screened In when we decided we were going to do a GM podcast.
A GM, like GM screen.
And that's kind of where the logo comes from, is that's like my like, all right, I kind of control the artist here in this instance, so
That is true. I'm going to tell Nikki you said it that way too.
Well, that's the wrong way to say it. I live with the artist and cook dinner for her.
There you go.
She's
so you have an artist, that your partner Irving, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. My partner
did the design. Do you have anyone who like helps editing or anything, or just kind of like publish?
We do have one episode where someone helped us edit. I do want to make sure I shout out Zach. He did help us edit one episode, but
might not be out yet.
Yeah, it's not out yet. But yeah, no, I talked to Tyler and was like, how do you edit the podcast? He was like, download Audacity and I'll walk you through it. So I just edit it when we get done on Sundays.
Yeah. That's good. That's one of the things, like, because right now I'm still very much solo, kind of doing my own thing. Like, there's so many pieces to the content creator puzzle that you just have to figure out, and it's so exhausting sometimes. So
I back in like my heavy World of Warcraft raiding days, I also did like some streaming and like did like very amateur video game reviewing.
Yeah.
And editing that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
That was the worst part.
Yes. So I'm trying to figure out ways to streamline it and stuff, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Of some of these names.
Yes, let's hear it.
I don't remember if I sent all of these, but this was just the Word doc that I had.
See if I remember.
The Dice of Adonasium, World Hopping Rolls, no, there was one, like I was brainstorming and someone was like, the Shardcast. I'm like, they already do that.
There it is.
There was the Narrative Ideal, the Spirit Web Sessions, Invested Adventures. All of these kind of suck, right? Shards and Steel was the dumbest one, but it was like a buddy of mine.
I think that's dumb. That's like very pulpy.
Yeah.
Well, a buddy of mine
that could be like a Mistborn campaign name.
So he was trying to come out like play off. A buddy of mine helped me with that one. He came up with it based off Sword and Sorcery. He was like, so Shards and Steel, Hoyd's Dice Bag, the Hemalurgic Crit. That one I think a name generator came up with. Let's see. I don't. Wits Workshop. Hoyd and Seek, because I just thought that sounded hysterical.
Hoyd and Seek.
Irving was like, immediately no.
Can't use that name. Yeah, no. Dragonsteel will get mad.
Correct. So yeah, they all kind of sucked. So Complicated Opportunities is what we kept coming back to.
Yeah,
that's great. Well,
and it's a decent one.
It's a good one. I laugh because I started out. When I started my channel, I was like, okay, I want to be a place for new hobbyists to get into the thing, into the hobby. And so I started out with Hobby Newbie. And I was that for like a year. And then I was like, you know, I need to change that. So I changed it. I was like, I decided to go with Cosmere in the name of it because I'm like, okay, I don't think I'll get big enough for Dragonsteel to come and knock on my door. But if they do, that'd be great. Either way, it's a win-win for me. So.
Well, and I think that the in miniature part there really just like that kind of protects you and also makes it unique.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Because I'm like, I know there's a lot of content creators out there about the Cosmere, and like I knew I had to really niche down and be like, I want to get my little slice of the audience and like create a core group. So that's what we're going with. Anyway, so kind of getting us back on our outline.
We ramble. I'm sorry.
It's great. This is what we're here for. This is a chat, right? So the technical term for the Cosmere RPG is a TTRPG, so tabletop RPG. So what has to be true for an RPG to have that TT as a prefix?
It's interesting because that's changed over the years. Because like, so when I was growing up, you had the tabletop and that was it. But now you have virtual tabletops and you can play online. Some people play with miniatures. Some people play with terrain. Some people play with battle maps. Some people just do theater of the mind. Really, you just got to have a table that people are sitting around virtually or in person, and then roll some dice. As far as I'm concerned, I don't care what kind of dice it is. Just roll something.
Virtual or
And
real?
in my head, that makes it a TTRPG.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that saying that kind of verbalizing, because I've had this written here for a little bit, having that verbalized is kind of blown my mind a little bit, because like, yeah, what is like tabletop might be antiquated because we might have moved beyond that.
We're in the new universe.
Well, and I'm sitting here like, well, do you call them, like, are they pen and paper RPGs? Technically yes, but like I'm the only person in my play group that uses a pen and paper. All my people like laptops.
Carter does too.
Oh, he does. Well, I meant my in-person one.
I gotcha.
But yeah. I guess it's the style of game at this point. It started out as like a niche genre, and then it has spiraled into being something larger.
Yeah, because I mean, even as I wrote out that question, I was like, oh, this is very interesting. Like, what makes it a tabletop game? And Kyle, I like your kind of definition of like, as long as you're around some center place and playing together, that's like a tabletop, I guess.
Well, and the other thing that comes to mind, like, because we have access to so much more now, because like, D&D came out in what, the 70s, like video, like Pong was out, that was it, right?
Yeah.
But now, like, stuff like The Witcher, Mass Effect, Final Fantasy, World of Warcraft, like, there's all these video game RPGs, but they're, for the most part, World of Warcraft's a little different, but like a lot of those, to people like my generation, think of them as solo experiences that you're just experiencing for yourself. But you also have the game that's generating a lot of that stuff for you. It's generating the setting, it's generating the characters, the dialogue. At a TTRPG, you're doing all that. Like, you might have a guidebook that's walking you through how to run an adventure, but for the most part, it's the GM that's describing a lot of that. Like, I basically joke that all I am is a glorified, like, narrator, because I'm just narrating what you guys are telling me to talk about.
Well, and like that gets to an important point of the core DNA of tabletop RPGs is collaborative storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
You are, I think, very minimalist wise, 3 people sitting around a campfire could play a TTRPG and they don't need anything else.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
There you go. I like it. So if we, because when I kind of look at tabletop, I think of tabletop wargaming, and that's different than like a board game that's a war game, right? A board game, you have a board that you set out and you play. Tabletop wargaming is where you put out terrain pieces, you use a measuring stick, roll lots of dice, and that kind of stuff. And so a tabletop RPG, to me, that screams, I have to have some kind of physical representation of the world that we're going through. And if that's on virtual tabletop, that's fine. But to me, I'm like, okay, I need to have maybe a map. Like, I know there's lots of battle maps going around right now on the Cosmere RPG Discord. But why we're here today, right, is the miniatures. When I GM'd it, I made sure, I was like, I have to have a miniature for every single person. And for any opponent that we faced, I had some kind of representation for it. So in your experience, whether on virtual or in person, how important have miniatures been to your games?
So, for me, they're extremely important.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off there, Kyle.
No, it's all good. You play more in person? I've only ran in-person games at conventions. So I've worked for Brotherwise at Gen Con. I've worked for Brotherwise at Dragonsteel Nexus.
Yeah.
But in person, those are the only things I've ran. It's all been online. So I am using just tokens, but I do like to have a representation of, like, you are here, this is where your opponent is, you're attacking them that way.
But I mean, even just using tokens online, the first time I put that Nightform singer down and you see that art, which is this great, like, very like Greco-Roman crown of like a laurel crown, but it's carapace. Like, that's an awesome token art. And immediately that, like, it makes you question something. It evokes a feeling and you're like, oh, what's going to go on? And that's kind of the importance of miniatures in having that, like, tactile sense of, like, seeing the thing.
Yes.
That first time I put down a dragon that I painted, and it's just like, yeah, this thing's cool. Or
Yeah.
I can't stand Daggerheart, but I made a really cool boss for Daggerheart and used this great mini, and it like the players immediately are like, "Oh, this guy's bad."
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so that was a cool experience because I'd been running since February, but like February of 2025. And then July was the first time I did an in-person at Gen Con. And probably some of it's imposter syndrome, right? Because there's other GMs there that have a lot more experience than I do. But the RPG had digitally launched a week before. And I'm lucky enough that I got a buddy that has a 3D printer.
Nice.
So this guy, who's a boss in Stonewalkers,
Yeah.
I painted him and some other characters and took them to Nexus. Because
I
I
haven't
knew what
seen
I
that
was.
one before.
Oh, that's the Veth one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you haven't shown me this.
This was the
nice
first one I
model.
used. That was the first one I used speed paint on. That is one coat.
Yeah.
Like
I remember when you
rounded.
posted that. I was like, man,
Yep.
speed paints are sweet.
They're
Irving got me hooked on speed paints.
yeah, I love them.
I have
Like-
almost all of the Army Painter ones now.
Yeah.
They're my favorite is the Army Painter ones. I'll give them a shout out because they make a good product.
Yes, they do.
And they did not used to.
Yes. Very true.
But yeah, so like that was a cool thing that helped set it apart. It made it memorable. Like people remembered coming to my table because depending on what character you picked, I didn't have a token for you. I had a mini.
Yeah.
Like you got to use the mini that I painted that week. Johnny O'Neill came by and took a picture of them all while I was playing the game, which freaked me out.
That's awesome. That's
like,
great.
It's a cool thing. To me, it adds another layer. Like I like a token. Don't get me wrong. Like tokens are cool because the art's awesome. But there is just something about having that mini on the table that just feels great.
Yeah, and when I was, you reminded me when I was playing Bridge 9, and like the first scene, a Chasm Fiend comes out, and so like I had my box on the ground beside me, and I was like, I was narrating it a little bit, like all of them were on the bridge, and then I like pull this massive mini out, like that mini back there, plop it on the table, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, what the crap is going on?" Like we freaked out.
Awesome.
And I was like, "This is what I need." And then I was able to like show some pictures of a Chasm Fiend, and then like added to like, okay, this is a real deal. How the heck are we going to survive here? Like it added a lot of weight to the scene, which I thought was really cool.
How many of those players were new to the Cosmere period?
I had 4, and 3 of them are new. One of them had just read Words of Radiance. Oh, Wave King's Words of Radiance. So
okay,
very green.
But still, like that's the importance of like minis and physical representation, because you say Chasm Fiend and like they might know what those 2 words mean, but then you see this giant evil lobster and you're just like, oh, this is terrifying.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I just had the cardboard token when I ran Bridge 9 for my friends that, Nikki was playing with me and she's read everything or almost everything. So she knew what was up, but they're all like, what's this thing? Like, what does it look like coming up onto the bridge? And I was like, well, token. And then they were just like, oh, that's big.
Yeah, it's like the massive
like, yeah.
token. Yeah, that's good. So I think like the combination of the miniatures, or if you, because I mean, having enough miniatures to run a full campaign like that, you need a lot. Tough. And so having the tokens as supplement there, I think is good. Yeah. So, something I did kind of a follow-up question to this is, Kyle, you mentioned you're maybe more virtual, and Irving, you have like a more in-person group that you deal with. What are the pros and cons that you found of running a virtual game versus a in-person game?
I mean, virtually it's easier to access people.
Okay.
And because also like what's the number one reason a campaign fails is scheduling.
Yeah.
So it's a lot easier for me to be like, oh, like I just need to be in my dining room from 7 to 10 tonight versus, oh, I need to get to a physical location and meet up with a group of people and hope everybody's on time. And like, it's a lot easier to just log into Discord and be like, all right, let's roll.
Yeah. Do you meet, like, do you just say, hey, I'm going to GM a session, who wants to join? Like, or do you have people that you invite specifically?
So we have a group that we play with pretty regularly, and then over time you'll learn I'm very Stoneward forward. Like yes. I like to bring people together. So like my Discord has slowly turned into this just random RPG Discord where it's, I think even today there was something that came up and there was
too many of us in there.
There are a little too many of us in there. You're not wrong. But like there's 3 GMs that are like, hey, I need players. You guys will play. And so they're putting different games together.
That's
run
good.
stuff.
So you've like assembled this core group of, there's a lot of people in there, but you know that they're in there and they're committed to play a good game, right?
Yes.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to come in and play sometime? We'll get you in there.
We'll get you in there, no
I
problem.
might, yeah. Because I mean, I have this question like kind of right after this, is the forever GM mentality. Like if I play locally, I will always be the GM. Like I'm the only one qualified or like with enough excitement to like really dig into the rules. And so I would like to be a player at some point.
Oh,
Yeah.
we got
no,
you.
I totally get it.
We got you.
Yeah. I GM for my friends a lot, and then like with Kyle, like we trade off GMing a lot, and just getting to play has been very fun because you finally get to use all those character ideas that you've just been slowly building up.
Yes, like you get to focus in on one person and be like, "What is my one role?" Instead of like trying to manage the whole table, right? So
yeah.
So
we
Irving,
joked.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. Well, I was like, we just joked with a guy. There's an interview that we'll have that comes out next month. He's the guy that built the demi-plane character sheets.
Yeah.
And great guy. But we were joking because I probably have made, I don't know, 50 to 100 characters since I've had it. I delete them as I go, just playing around with it. But yeah, I finally have landed after 100 characters on the one character I do want to try out and finally play.
There you go. I might just have to take one of those for when I come play, Kyle. Be like, no pre-generated problem. Kyle approved.
That's right.
Yeah, I've built people characters plenty. It's fun.
That's good. That's good. So, Irving, tell me about in-person games and how you run those.
I think for me and a lot of the people I know, the immediate benefit is you're at the table with people and like you can see each other. You can focus on the game easier. Because for me, even when it's on screen, even when I'm recording a podcast, I'm fidgeting with something. I have a bottle opener right here. Sorry, my camera's really small, so I don't know if it's like visible. But like I'm flipping this thing around in my hand because I just need, like, I'm not allowed to have coins on my desk anymore when we record.
I even joke about his mouse and keyboard because sometimes I'll even pick up his clicking like on his mouse.
Yeah, and like I apologize for it. I know it's terrible, but like I'm a fidgeter, so like I have a hard time staying focused even when I'm just playing like at my computer.
Yeah.
But at the table, it's a lot easier to focus on those things, and like because you can see stuff, it's tactile, it's right in front of you. It's also like I feel like, you know, because you can have webcams on, but maybe you don't online. But you get to see everyone's face in person for sure. And there's this that sense of community, which I think is really important and fun.
Yeah.
But really it's, you know, I think both are valid ways to play. And as long as you're excited about it, either one can work.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that. And for me, like I really value in person. Like when I do my wargaming, I haven't gone into virtual tabletop yet with wargaming because I'm like, I love to see the minis. Like I want to see the minis. I want to be able to move them around. And so I haven't gotten into virtual too much, but I do see the benefits of it.
Well, and like for wargaming, I can't stand tabletop simulators interface most of the time. And like I've tried it for Legion because it's hard to find a group for Star Wars Legion, at least in my area. But it's not good. It's not updated. Maybe like it probably is for Warhammer because it's just so much a bigger game.
Right.
But like also the Middle Earth client isn't updated. It's like it was like the previous edition.
Oh, man.
And I was like, I don't know any of these rules.
Yeah. So I mean, finding people to play with locally, that's even harder. Like to your point, Kyle, than virtually. But once you find a group, it's really good. It's really good. Good. Okay. So this next one I do want to delve into. So something that you guys do on your podcast is Tales from the Table. I think Irving, you might have coined that one.
He did. That is 1,000% an Irving idea. It's a great idea.
I like it.
It's great.
It's a great idea.
Yes. So Tales from the Table. Notes. Yes. I took some notes for this very question. How have you used minis in your RPG and like any cool moment or a token, right? Of like, I mean, we already kind of talked about some of them, but any other cool moments of using your miniatures on the table?
One I can't talk about.
Yeah.
But my favorite one I can't talk about.
One day
I'll be able to.
Okay.
For one to talk about, I alluded to it in that Daggerheart game, and I wanted to talk about it because it's an awesome mini. It is Tristan Vaslor from MCDM's Followers and Strongholds. I think Trenchworks did the mini.
Okay.
No, it's Kingdoms and Warfare is the book. My bad. Either way, it's a D&D supplement, and this mini is sweet. I unfortunately I don't have him right now. I don't know where he is. Probably just off with my RPG stuff, but he's this skeletal zombie king with just this antiquated armor style that's lots of nice hard edges, a jagged sword, and I put him down, and they're like, "Oh, that's a human sized guy." And then they looked closer, and they're like, "Oh no, he's going to be scary," because I'd done a lot of good work on the paint job. I'd spent the time on it, and there was a lot of detail.
Yeah.
And then mechanic wise, I mixed up some World of Warcraft boss mechanics and Leoric from Diablo 3, because a lot of my players play those games, so I knew they'd recognize these mechanics. But the mini is what kind of sold it. Getting to put down the mini, and then he has an ability that summons spectral dudes. So I had a bunch of in progress minis that are black and white, so they look like statues, and I put those out as the specters.
That's cool. So it's funny you mentioned that you brought in a human sized figure, and they're like, "Oh, this will be easy," but then they look closer, wait a minute, the level of detail means this is a boss. And it's that's totally true in Warhammer too. The more detailed your mini, it's oh, that's a hero character. You got to watch out for that.
The hero, sorry to monopolize more time. No, I hope it focuses, but
yes.
Who
is that? Andor?
It's Prince Imrahil. I'm so sorry, it's not going to focus. I will post pictures for you to put of this later. But he has so much more detail than just pick a random mook from Star Wars Legion, it, and that is it. The level of detail you put into a mini oftentimes is a signifier of how important they are.
Yeah. How much, this is a tangent question, how much time do you typically spend on a rank and file mini versus a hero mini?
If you could guess. I've tried to get it down to a science, and I think my fastest time when doing dwarf infantry was each individual mini took 15 minutes total.
Whoa, that's fast.
And I'm not counting priming time. I'm counting just so they're primed and dry brushed. This is just applying color.
Okay.
But it's still, I don't know, I did 30 minis that day. So it was still a lot of time.
That's a lot of time, but 30 minis in a day, and that's with speed paints, I assume.
Yeah, it was with speed paints. Otherwise I would have gone crazy.
Yeah.
I still maybe went a little crazy. But then a hero, you'll easily spend 2 to 5 hours.
Yeah, for sure. How about you, Kyle? As you're entering the hobby,
let's say, I mean, so as far as a moment, the coolest one for me was Gen Con for sure. And the fact that Johnny was taking pictures of the minis was cool. But the more fun one is one guy had so much fun playing those characters. It was the last game of Speak the Words I was running that weekend. Yeah. And he got so attached to his Will Shaper that he asked, he's he knew it was my last one, so he asked if he could keep the mini.
That's adorable.
And I did. I let him take it, obviously.
That's great.
It was fun too, because he asked me to sign the bottom of the mini, which was weird to me.
That's cool.
So on the bottom of the base, I signed it for him, which is weird.
You're famous now, Kyle. You're famous.
Apparently. And as far as painting speed, and it's got to be the ADD in me. I don't spend I think the longest I've spent on a mini total time would only be an hour.
Yeah.
And it was probably Kaladin. So I have the 4th Ideal Kaladin. And honestly, the part that took the longest was following your tutorial for the glow. I still don't know that I got it there, but it'll work.
It's hard. Yeah.
OSL, part. I still have zero idea how to get to work. And then probably the other one, I made this Truth Watcher Shardbearer. Because I painted him and then dry brushed him to give him a green effect, the armor's glowing. But yeah, I mean, Irving, because I use speed paint for everything, I'd say the longer, a mini that I'm not going to devote a ton of detail to, I can paint in 10, 15 minutes. I tell you another hack, man. I really like the speed paint markers that the Army Painter just came out with.
I've heard about those.
I don't have any of them with me that I've painted with. Oh, well, yeah, I do. This one, I mean, that one's speed paint marker. That was I think it's the
And
Caribbean
what color
Ocean.
did you say it was?
I want to say it's Caribbean Ocean. But yeah, like I just put that over a Zenithal Prime, but I kept it more darker than usual.
Yep.
But I think I painted that in 10 minutes.
That's amazing, because I come from the traditional acrylic route. Like as a kid, that's what I learned on. And so when the contrast and speed paints came out, like I didn't pick them up. I was like, these are weird. This is new. I don't want to touch this. And I've started to use them more now, and I'm like, whoa, these have some effects. Because I'll pull up this guy. I love showing off these guys. My Asish pikeman. So this one is kind of traditional, just a gold armor, right? But then I come in with a contrast paint. We can't really see it, and I make it bronze by by staining the gold. This is snakebite leather from Citadel, but it like turns them into that bronze that I think
layering it that way is really nice.
So it's like I'm using contrast paints not as like the base coat. Sometimes I use it as a wash, a stain.
I tell you a good. Yeah, if you start
them,
doing, I don't know which speed paints you're using, but if you start using the Army Painter one, and I'm assuming Citadel probably has a similar product, the speed paint medium really helps too. Ooh. Because it'll dilute it dilutes the color, so it helps make it a wash.
Okay.
I'm a big you made me fall down a rabbit hole of YouTube painters, but Don Cerritos, I think is how you say his last name. He's from the Philippines. His stuff's fantastic. He spends like 5 hours on a mini, but like he has a lot of really cool tips and tricks that he uses. He actually uses speed paints for almost all of his base coats now, but then he highlights up with acrylic.
Right. Right.
And layers up with acrylics. So there's a lot of really cool stuff you can do with those.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I did these Alethi, the blue. I just did.
Those are sweet, man.
Thank you. Yeah, they're part of my Thrill Alethi army I'm working on. Yeah. But the
what
blue,
is this sculpt?
These are Fireforge Northern Warriors. Like it's a multi-part plastic kit.
Oh, okay.
And then
did you hand paint that glyph on there?
I used a stencil. So
okay.
Yeah. Yes. I used to do hand painted on my first Alethi army I made years ago, but I found out my wife's friend has a stencil maker. Sent her some glyphs, cut them out, put them on, and it works out great. I'll show you the.
Got them real small.
This one I did hand paint though. This glyph.
Dude, I would never. I would never be able to do that.
And then this one is the Cobalt Guard glyph.
Yeah.
On the flag, but.
And then what size base is that? That's like a 55 oval.
I think it's a 60. It's okay. I proxy it for the Warhammer Khorne army, Blades of Khorne, because I like the Thrill Alethi are just like bloodthirsty.
I feel like that fits with Khorne, yeah.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, these models have been awesome. These are Highland miniatures STLs. So
they look great.
I've been a big fan of DM Stash. That's the one I've used a lot lately. I think they're the ones that are actually making the new Cosmere ones that they're releasing with my mini factory.
I think so. Yeah.
The detail they're able to get in those small of a mini is pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of that, I've been practicing my 3D printer with FDM, and it's amazing.
That Warform looks so cool.
Yeah, I posted it on the Discord, and I'm just in shock at like.
Yeah, the layer lines were really like minimal. I was impressed. Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep doing some testing, but I'm like, this is very interesting because resin. I'm not doing resin right now because it's toxic and stuff. Little kids running around, but I can do FDM. So
no, resin's like I have a detached garage that is a workshop material for me. Like I know a bunch of people that do it in their house, and they're like, I built a safe like air filter. I'm like, sure you did, pal. Sure.
I'm not messing with that.
Yeah, the guy that prints all mine, I'm in a hiatus at the moment because I live in West Virginia and it's cold as all out here, and he's like, you can't. Yeah. He's like, resin's useless right now.
Do not print. Yeah, do not print and do not prime. That's good.
I run a painting company in my day job, so we have a shop. I do my mini priming at the shop.
There you go. There you go. I love it. I love it.
I just go out on my back porch. I like heat up my thing, run outside, spray it real quick, and then run back
Yes.
in.
That's
My dog
You're
thinks
gonna
I'm
get
insane.
you're gonna get the like bumpy, ugly finish.
as long as they're painted. That's the important part. As long as
Exactly.
they're
There you go.
painted.
Well, Warhammer tournaments are so strict of like the whole like 3-color rule.
Yes.
You
That is a
know,
little weird. Like you have to have at least 3 colors to qualify for a Warhammer tournament.
Yeah.
Warhammer gets a little interesting, but
yeah.
you can find some good players to play with. Oh, I did want to mention my tale from the table.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I mentioned like I brought the Chasm Feet out, Bridge 9. So the second session, before everyone comes, I set up the ruins with magnetiles, which are like kids play tiles. So I set up this whole like, okay, here's the entrance, and then here's some ramps up into the second story. And like their little guys were like walking through this rainbow colored magnetile place, and they were like exploring, and there was like this the statue, there's like a fallen statue or something.
Yeah.
The Radiant. I had an action figure of Chewbacca, and I was like, okay, this will do. Boom. And like it was so out there, but everyone was like into it. They're like, oh, I gotta walk over here, see what's over here. And it was like it was so dumb, but it like brought people in a very tactile experience. So I encourage that for anyone with young kids or something. Use their toys. Their toys make great proxies.
If you're of an age where you have Legos lying around in a bin at your parents, like go grab them, man. They're great for terrain.
The
whole Lego D&D subreddit is phenomenal.
Oh, I haven't looked at that. That would be interesting.
Yeah. There's some people that like do some crazy builds. I'm just like, I am impressed. My wallet hurts and I'm impressed.
My wallet hurts. Yes, it does. All right. So here near the end of our chat today, I have a couple like rapid fire questions I want to go through. So, and we'll go, of all the Cosmere books, which is your favorite and why? Kyle, go.
So my default answer is Words of Radiance,
Good choice.
solely because, I'd read Mistborn, I'd read Way of Kings, but the moment when Kaladin, I won't, for spoiler purposes, I guess, for a book that's 15 years old, I'll say, but when you hear the phrase, Kaladin, stretch forth thy hand, I get chills every single time I hear that.
Yeah.
And that'll just never cease to be awesome to me.
That's good. That's good.
So Oathbringer, 1.
Really?
Teft's Oath, Dalinar's Oath, Kaladin's Failure of the Oath. Yeah.
It's all their turning points.
Important book.
Oathbringer to me has better high points than Words does, but I just think Words works better in a beginning to end. There's moments in Oathbringer where I get a little bored.
There's no low points in Oathbringer. It's amazing.
Shadesmar gets a little.
I'm kind of with you there, Kyle. Kind of with you there. But I mean, for me, I think it's Way of Kings, followed closely by Words of Radiance. Because when I first got into the Cosmere, it was after I finished Wheel of Time. I was like, who the heck finished this series? Because they did a great job. Like, who wrote the 200-page last battle? That was amazing. And then I'm like, oh, Brandon Sanderson, who is this guy? I read Way of Kings, and I'm like, okay, this is a whole world. And yeah, Way of Kings definitely brought me into the Cosmere. Okay, here's the next question for you. If you could wave a magic wand and have a new set of Cosmere miniatures in your hands right now, what would it be and why? Irving, you start.
No, I thought Kyle was going to start. The Kalad's Phantoms.
Oh, that is so good.
Yes, but you can do it now, Irving. Get some Stormcast Eternals. Sacrosanct.
And paint them like stone.
There's tutorials out there. Get the Sacrosanct ones with the robes. And like paint them all crazy colors.
All right. I'm going to have to look this stuff
Look
up the Sequitors Stormcast Eternals. Maybe I'll put a picture up when I edit.
I'm not gonna lie, the Stormcast Eternals I've been playing around. I'll be honest, I don't like Warhammer minis. They're too small for me.
Yeah.
But the Stormcast Eternals do look.
They are cool. They're good.
And while he's looking,
those are pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah,
I've
that
had
could
it in the
do it.
back of my mind for years of like Khalad's Phantom. So if the RPG goes into Warbreaker era or
They
Warbreaker,
will. They
they
said
No, they
will.
will.
They
Yeah.
will.
I'm not spoiling anything by saying that.
I know. They keep saying it. So I think that would be great to get into. It'd be like, hey, if you want some lifeless Khalad's Phantoms, boom, here's how to do it. Get some Stormcast Eternals. Here's the paint job. We'll see.
I'll just be basic, and I want Steel Inquisitors real bad. Like I give me Marsh all day, every day, leading a group of Steel Inquisitors. Like I could
Are
get into that.
there like Blood Angels chaplains? Because that's kind of what I pictured. Well, that's maybe more Elantris with like Horathan and the
Yeah, with like
I
the
wouldn't mind a
armor.
Hrathen many, because man, even that design on the pin they came out with this year, I'm just like, give me a Hrathen mini now.
Yeah. I mean the level of quality that are coming out with these Cosmere miniatures, it keeps going up. And so I'm excited as they introduce each new world of like a whole new range of minis. Like Mistborn should be coming this year.
Yeah, at Nexus they
yeah,
showed a picture
one a
of Vin,
month,
right?
right?
Yeah, they showed a picture of Vin, and
Yeah.
that looks great. It looks great. So I'm excited to get some of these into dioramas too, of like Vin flying through Luthadel or something.
Ooh, I want to talk about dioramas, but we don't have time.
Let's do it right now. We have time. Irving,
Well,
go.
so like, well, no, I want to ask you, what are like diorama plans you have?
Yeah. I kind of talked about it in my video a few weeks ago about I don't really have like a shop to build
Yeah,
dioramas. Like this was my last one, Tress of the Emerald Sea.
yeah, and that thing's sweet.
I loved building it. It was so much fun.
Yeah,
And I think, I mean, on my radar, I have a whole backlog of actually I have them right here. I'll kind of just read through some of them. I want to do a book nook of Zeth walking through a hallway and like have like lights so you can put it on your shelf next to the book. Like what?
yeah,
That'd be so
that
cool.
would be sweet.
Wind and Truth cover art with Dalinar on a platform, just like the Wind and Truth cover.
Yeah,
Paladin in the Chasms, Lifespren floating out of a skull, like a big diorama, like a skull, and then some LED lights coming
yeah.
through.
Was it you or
So
someone in your Discord that did the White Spawn Uncaged? Like the scene with the duel with Kaladin and Adolin.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I
Was
want
it?
to do it.
Oh no, that's right. You did the kit bash to make one of the guys from that. That's what it was.
Yes, I made. Where is he? Is it Ellet? I forgot his name, but yeah, the Shard Hammer Bearer.
yeah. Now, have you gotten to magnetizing your minis much?
Like the arms.
Arms, weapons, like etc. Yeah,
Yeah, I did that with some Stormcast Eternals, and I've done it with a few of my Empire handgunners to swap out guns with crossbows. But I
yeah.
haven't done it with these minis, the Cosmere minis.
Cosmere minis. I'm a little afraid to, but I know I kind of want to do Zeth walking to do the assassination, the prologue,
Yeah.
and just like chop him off the base, put a magnet in his foot, and then have
Yes.
several magnet points down the hallway.
Oh.
Because
So,
like,
move them around.
yeah, this mini, and I'll take it off its base because it's a little easier to see. It was like my first one. It's the land speeder
Yeah.
for Star Wars Legion, and all of the guys
You just take them off.
are magnets, and they just like pop back into place.
Yes. Magnetizing minis. It's a good skill to have, especially in wargaming, getting into that.
It's well, and like especially Warhammer, which is WYSIWYG, if I believe. But
yeah, it's a WYSIWYG for most tournaments, which is what you see is what you get. So, which was a question that I had with RPGs. WYSIWYG doesn't really work, right? Because you're switching out weapons all the time, buying items, right?
Yeah, players forget what they have so much because they have a full kit that you can't you wouldn't expect them to know everything, so they don't have to have it on the mini.
Yes. Okay, so to close us out, one last question: what are you currently working on, or like what are you going to paint next?
I just bought the Dragon Prince Battle Charge or something like that. It's a board game Brotherwise made, but it
Okay.
comes with minis of all of the Dragon Prince characters. So I just primed those. My desk also has 30 prime minis on it right now. So I mean, there was, that's how that rolls.
Looking like, yep.
But I would say that's probably either those, or I primed all of the ones, like I had all the 3D printed versions of the ones that came out with the physical release, but I did go ahead and start painting the actual ones. Although I didn't follow your instructions and there's mold lines on them. It's making me really mad.
Mold lines will get you. I did prime some and I'm like, I forgot to do the mold lines, and now I can see a white line all the way up.
Yeah, it'll be there. Deal.
Deal with it.
Yep.
How about you, Irving?
I need to get through the Kingdom of Khazad-dûm for Middle Earth Strategy Battle Game. Get that army painted, and then I think I'm finally going to like actually paint the Stormlight minis. That's kind of like my goal for this year, is like get paint on those.
Get paint on
Especially
those.
I'm running an in-person Stormlight game. I need some minis for it.
You need the minis. Good.
Yep.
I love hearing it. I know Soroka on the Discord, they've been very inspiring of paint. Their goal is to paint the original 4-box sets this year. So already this year, he's got like 4 of them done, which is fantastic. So,
jeez, he's
inspiration.
Talon Mini is a lot of fun to paint because there's a lot of cool stuff you can do with that sword.
Yes, the fire sword and that kind of thing. I will say the Chol. I know Tom from Invest in the Cosmere just painted the Chol. It's really fun to paint with speed paints. Like I used three speed paints, 40 minutes, it was done.
Anytime awesome. You have really good hard edges that catch your like dry brushing or your zenithal, speed paints are fantastic.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
That's why I'm having so much fun doing all these shard bears with speed paints. I wish I would have had my speed paints when I did Esh and I, but I didn't. So that one took a lot longer than I would have liked.
But you live and you learn. At least it's painted, right? It's painted.
That is true.
Ready to go.
That Esh and I mini is the best one out of the originals.
It's a good one. All right. Well, we're near the end of time.
So sad.
Any last minute thoughts you want to close out with about miniatures or the Cosmere RPG that you want to leave us with?
If I had to think, like the one thing people have been asking for advice and whatnot, and like as someone who started GMing this year, but probably has logged a ton of hours this year compared to most, just go do it. Like, because I originally, like Irving and I were working in a group where I was like, hey man, I want to eventually learn this, but I'm not comfortable doing it yet. And there was a week Irving couldn't be there and he was just like, hey bro, you got it next week. Have fun. And just like, boom, go do it. And
push him off.
Like, I ran 3 hours of Stonewalkers last night. Like doing this today, I'm probably going to play in a couple games over the next 2 weeks. Like, it's become my new obsession, but the only way I did it was just to finally just say the heck with it and go do it. You don't know what, like, your players don't know what you don't know. So wing it. Like, I over prep, but it's just get out there, go play it, have fun. The system's awesome. Brotherwise crushed it. Like, I can't wait for Plot Weaver just to see all the wild stuff we'll be able to do with the way this system works. So yeah, just go out and play it.
I love it.
Yeah. And if you want to paint some minis and do a good job and have some inspiration, check out Cosmere in Miniature. This guy is sweet. Hey. And thank you so much for having us on, man.
Absolutely.
Thank you both. Thank you both for joining me. Everyone who's listening, go check out their podcasts, especially if you want to start GMing. Fantastic resource. 100% recommend. So I'll stop the recording.